How do I, 25/F, break to my housemate/best friend, 28/F, that I want to move out and live with my boyfriend, 23/M. Going to try and keep this short, but Lord knows it's going to be a brain dump. I've lived with Kate on and off since university, but we've been sharing a house for the past 3 years as we both worked close to each other. We'd easily become best friends, and pre-COVID went traveling together and all was lovely. She's always been a messy, woman-child type, and I knew this when we moved in together, and while it is frustrating, it's low-level frustrating and I can deal with it. Her high-fat diet has meant that on more than one occasion I've had to call round someone to unclog our drains as she has put meat grease down the sink. Her room is something you see on hoarders, and a solid 90% of the time I have to rewash our plates as there will be butter left on the knives at best and raw meat stuck on the plates at worst. She is still spoiled by her parents at almost 30 years of age, and before COVID her dad would frequently do the 90-minute drive to collect her and take her to stay with them on the regular. Again, frustrating, but it's a matter of personal differences, as I'm a very independent person with a much more distanced relationship to my family. A little annoying to witness, but no reason to actively dislike someone. That is until COVID hit. Kate and I have both been working from home, and I've stayed away from everyone, apart from seeing my boyfriend James outside on a socially distanced basis for walks and spending time at his family's house for Christmas after isolating for 5 days and getting a test. In the UK this has been legal and not in breach of any guidelines. Kate on the other hand is a different story. Her mum is high risk and had to shield throughout the first lockdown and was one of the first to get the vaccine. This meant on an almost daily basis at the start of the first lockdown Kate would profess that if my mum gets it, she's dead. If I left the house she'd say the same. If my mum gets it, she will die. That hasn't stopped her parents visiting our house. I stayed well away during this. This hasn't stopped Kate asking her dad to come and collect her throughout the various lockdowns and take her up to her family home for sometimes weeks on end. She also went to visit her grandparents in an entirely different part of the country, and has stayed at 2 different friends' houses overnight on numerous occasions, been on various car journeys with another friend, and out for drinks with gatherings of friends where I have not attended, as the only people I have seen have been James and his immediate family because, you know, lockdown. Needless to say, her hygiene has been as shocking as ever, with her frequently sneezing and wiping her snot on the sofa, my sofa which I bought, and on her dressing down, and when I questioned it her response was, well, whatever, we're all gonna die anyway. Came to a head over Christmas where we were permitted to go home for Christmas Day. I went to James's house for the day and came straight back to mine and Kate's house. She was at her parents' house for over a month, meaning that due to lockdown restrictions I was in the house on my own and not allowed to form a bubble with James, as when I asked Kate when she would be back her response was, when I get bored of my family waiting on me. So I was stuck in the house on my own for a month, and needless to say was pretty depressed by the end of it. You don't need to tell me she's not being a best friend in this scenario, because I damn well know. So here's the thing. James and I have now been together for almost 2 years and we really want to get a place together. He's now in a graduate job and earn enough to move out of his family home, and with my job now being remote we'd like to move somewhere that's a little closer to his place of work, as it's currently an hour drive each way for him, but there's a nice town which has reasonable rent prices between our current city and his place of work. With COVID we want to be able to be together and don't want to delay it much longer. One, because we want to start our lives together and make that next step, and also it'd be nice to not have to only have sexting as an option. I don't know how to break this to Kate without losing her. I don't want her to hate or resent me for wanting to move on with my life, but I cannot be around someone so inconsiderate. I think I just need the kick up the backside from someone, something to spur me into action. Reddit, please help! Exclamation mark. Too long didn't read. Living with best friend who has not acted like a best friend throughout lockdown, want to leave and be with partner. How the hell do I break it to her? Kate, I want to move in with boyfriend. I plan to move out in X months. You should give her some time to plan for a new roommate. At least 1 month, 2 if you're feeling generous. But you're not breaking up with the woman. She might be mean about it at first, but that'll be on her, and she'll get over it once her life settles down again. Just tell her that you're planning on moving in with your boyfriend. There's no need to tell her anything else. You are listing two problems here. 1. Your friend is a horrible housemate. 2. You want to move out and live with your boyfriend. I don't think you need to mention or worry about one because even if she was great you'd want to leave, right? Just tell her you're thinking about taking that next step with your boyfriend and are looking for a place to live together. Leave off all the yuck of how utterly yucky living with her was like. She is not much of a friend if she does not cheer for you for taking the next step with your BF. Risk losing her. She openly tells me how she doesn't like James and thinks he's a simp because he treats me well and we support each other and are affectionate. So I don't think it'll go well. Okay, so there's no good way to say this. You just have to be upfront. Tell her that you and your boyfriend are getting serious and want to live together, so I will not be living with you moving forward. You don't need to list all the reasons you don't want to live with her. If she is mature enough she will understand, if not then you know you need to keep a distance from her cause she is toxic and will create problems moving forward. Best of luck. Highest upvotes I've ever gotten. Thank you guys. My 28F, X, 31M, left me and our kids, 4F and 4M, on a yacht and hasn't come back when he said he would. My ex and I had a casual fling for a few months. I found out I was pregnant very late and weeks after we had completely cut contact. I tried to get in touch with him only to find out the information he gave me was all false. I had to hire a PI to find him because I felt like I owed it to our kids. Even though we have a good co-parenting relationship now, he is still secretive about a lot of things. He usually has the kids during the summer and some holidays. Due to COVID, they couldn't see each other this year as much, so he asked me if I was willing to let them go on a trip in January with him. He kept pushing back the trip because he wanted me to come with them as he thought it would be nice for the kids to have a real family holiday, and his sister, who I clicked with, was also coming with her kids, so he thought I would enjoy it. Like I said earlier, we have a good co-parenting relationship, so I agreed to go because frankly, I've never been on a yacht before and I doubt I'll ever get the opportunity again. The first week was fun. However, my ex was acting really weird the whole time. He kept reminiscing about the months we were having a fling and kept saying it was nice that the kids could have their whole family together for once. Even his sister commented that he was acting weird. Then a few days ago he just left without warning. I was angry because I had to explain to the kids why their dad just upped and left without saying bye to them. He claimed he had an emergency he had to deal with, and that he would be back by yesterday, but he hasn't come back. I have a weird gut feeling and the urge to just leave and take the kids home. I'm not sure if I should though because his sister is still here, and the kids are all having a good time. Also, I have no idea how I would get home since he arranged everything, and when I told him I was going home he told me I was being ridiculous. Maybe I am. What would you guys do in my position? Do I leave and risk annoying him or just wait for him to get back? Too long didn't read. X left me, the kids, his sister and his nephews on a yacht with no warning. When I asked him where he was, he claimed he had an emergency he had to deal with but would be back by yesterday. He never came back, and I have a weird gut feeling telling me to leave. You said you click with sister and that she is still there, so I guess it makes sense to stay for these reasons. This is assuming sister is reasonable person and can be trusted. Also assuming there are no signs of him being involved with crime or something of that sort. Parallelly, I would start to arrange for the way back home without him. Find out when planes or buses go. Figure out whether you need to rent a car. Be able to leave and don't be dependent on him. This will allow you to act on your gut feeling if it will feel compelling. Why leave and risk annoying him or just wait for him to get back? Do not stay just to not annoy him. Leave when you want and be ready to leave without him. This is mostly for your own freedom and peace of mind. There is no reason for you to wait for him. I would stay basically because clicking with sister, kids having good time and holiday being already planned. His annoyance does not enter into equation. Gut feelings are there for a reason, in my opinion. If something feels off, you can and should leave. Maybe just get your own hotel. No need to cut the trip short, but if you feel uncomfortable you can and should get off that yacht. Honestly, he probably just got weirded out by everything and felt trapped. But worst case scenario, there's something off about this and your gut is right. Better safe than sorry. What happens if you leave? Worst case scenario. You will have been wrong, and missed the tail end of a vacation you and your kids already enjoyed. What happens? Worst case scenario, if you stay. This man was already difficult to track down once before, has now put you and your kids in an unexpected situation far from home, became unreachable again, and worst of all, is giving you a weird gut feeling. Intuition, Its Powers and Perils by Dr. David Myers says it better/longer, but essentially, gut feelings are thought to be your brain's way of picking up on irregularities too minor for you to be fully conscious of, alerting you if there are too many hidden signals. This is on top of the behavior you're aware of. Your survival instincts are kicking in. Follow them. You don't sound like you're in a safe position. You're on a yacht that isn't yours. The owner has unexpectedly left with no indication of when he'll be back. You don't know how to get home, and again, the person who made the plans is missing, and the guy who could help you get home is acting like you're a ridiculous nuisance, instead of a perfectly normal person with instincts. Right now, do whatever it takes to get you and your children off this yacht. Call the police if necessary. Don't contact your ex at all until you're all safe at home, or even better, safe at a place he's not familiar with. The weird gut feeling you're describing are your survival instincts telling you that the situation you're in isn't safe. Are you and the kids safe? Do you have your documents and the means to get home immediately? Is this a feeling in your gut that something is wrong, or are you annoyed with him leaving you and the kids behind? If it's the former, then yes. Cut the trip short and go home. Never leave the country again with him or allow the kids to do so. He lied to you about everything and it took a pie for you to figure out where he was. Does someone at home know where you guys are and when you're expected home? Listen to this comment. Trust your gut. It took you a pie to find this dude. It doesn't matter that the sister's still there. Use a credit card, call family or a trusted friend. It's better to be safe than sorry. And it makes me feel so tense and anxious just thinking about how you say you have no way to leave. You're there to be with the kids and for him to have dad time. He is no longer there. He has given no info. Get out of there if you feel off about that fact. Bringing up kids/adopting. Too long didn't read. When do you bring up kids? Hi, I'm a 25-year-old woman. I had several friends growing up who were adopted, and I remember thinking I also want to adopt from a young age. Now as an adult, I am solidified in this decision. I don't want to give birth. So today I fucked up a thing just like I'm short training for a marathon or skydiving hour. But I'm not interested, given the choice. Plus there's plenty of humans in the world already, etc. That said, I definitely want kids. I live on a rural property where my mom/grandma also live, run a business from here. I have been making life choices all setting me up for lots of kids. I'd like to start the adoption process in about 5 years or so. So realistically the person I get together with around now would be the person I want to raise kids with. I don't want to start dedicating my time to someone who wouldn't want kids or wouldn't be totally happy adopting instead. But also, it seems kind of weird to ask someone I've been seeing for only a couple months such a huge question.